Welcome back, everybody. This is welcome back to the Cashline. This is the D to the L to the N, the dlnsports. This is that DFS site, that honest DFS site that you can come in and get your picks of the day and some picks to help you get close to that cash line. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Hope y'all had a happy Memorial Day. Went and did me some cooking out and things like that with the family and the girl, and had a good time. Uh, I'm a vet. I served down in Fort Jackson, South Carolina, Columbia, and Fort Sam Houston down there in Texas. So I really do appreciate Memorial Day, and to all the vets out there, shout out to you. Want to welcome all the new members. Hey, Cashline growing, y'all. Please believe it. Look at the numbers. Look at the views. Look at the members. I ain't just saying it to you. It's growing. You know what I'm saying? And by the time this NFL thing go, it's gonna be a problem. Okay, we're doing the 32 team power ranking. Today we're going to do number 32. We're going to start at 32. We're going to do a team a day. But before we get into that, quick NBA, MLB recap from last night. It ain't about me, y'all. It ain't about me. Just because I'm the head of the snake, it ain't about me. It's about Ryan. It's about the secret weapon, Ryan. Ever since this kid came in to the cash line, the first day he came in, when I woke up the next morning, he sent me some stuff showing that he won it at Major League Baseball, and he did it again last night. He in the dollar single entry, 1K, took third place. Took third place, y'all, out of I think it was a couple thousand people. Took third place, at least 1,000, somewhere in that area. But he took third. You know what I mean? Not 30th or 300th. He took third and won him a little bit of money. And that shout out to you, man. And it's official. It's official, Ryan. You're the Cash Line's baseball guy. So you know what I'm saying? Keep doing what you're doing, man. I appreciate you shouting out the cash line like you did. It means a lot to me. And keep doing what you're doing. Now today in the Major League Baseball, the major decision, I'm playing kind of light because I'm off into some other things right now, trying to make this better and things like that. But I'm still playing, still keeping my ear to the streets. You know what I mean, so to say. And but today you got them two big pitchers you got to pick from. Out of Boston, you got Sale at 13.4. Now that's a lot. That's a lot, y'all. That's like NBA. That's like Russell Westbrook, James Harden, LeBron type stuff. But if he go off and you ain't got him, it's a problem. But at 13.4, if you do go with him, um, if you do go with him, the rest of your roster is going to be about 3K. You know what I mean? 3,500 a person. So you got to decide are you willing to pay that much for him? I'm going down. I'm going down to Detroit to Verlander at 10.7 and try to find me a stack involving him. And like I said, I'm putting probably 4 or 5 lines in that $500 quarter arcade, and try to win me a couple $100. But like I say, this baseball is hard, y'all, and that's how you got to look at that. Get people like Ryan with that real baseball mind, that real MLB mind. Like once we get to the NFL and NBA, that's kind of my wheelhouse. You know what I mean? That's where I'm gonna take you there. Please believe that. But sometime, and when you're in a group like this, you gotta know your strengths and your weaknesses. And one thing I will say, Ryan is strong at this baseball. So if y'all got some questions about that, hit me up or hit Ryan up. He's in the cash line. You see what it say, cash line, baby. So okay, we're gonna move on to the NFL rankings today. The 32 power ranking. Team number 32 is the New York Jets, y'all. They went 5-11 last year, last in the division. And I don't even call that an AFC division, y'all. I call that the Tom Brady division. Because ever since I've been old enough to understand this football thing, like truly understand it, he's ran away with it. So we're gonna go over there first. The coach Todd Bowles, defensive minded coach, and you're gonna see it. You're gonna see it in all their drafts up to even now. You'll see it. Round 1, pick 6, they got that Adams kid, a safety out of LSU. Okay. Now round 2, pick 7. They got May, a kid named May, safety out of Florida. So what's that tell you? First 2 rounds, your strength is defense, and you take 2 defensive players, which is cool if that's why you living and dying on defense. But you might want to get some help over there on the offense, because once I tell y'all who on offense, you'll see what I'm saying. But if that's their staple. That's their staple. Now round 3, pick 15, they took Stewart, this kid, wide receiver out of Alabama. because Brandon Marshall left, so he's going to try to replace Marshall, and I think that's a good pick. He kind of got overshadowed up there in Alabama because they got another one of them. Uh, uh, they had another receiver that was awful good up there in Alabama, so he got kind of overlooked. But that kid's the real deal. Now the Jets preseason kicks off August 12th, y'all. August 12th against the Tennessee Titans. So that's when we can get our real first look at them and try to see what's going on there and start weeding things out. So by the time the regular season starts, we off and running because we're starting early. I know it's early, but we're starting early. But when that NFL starts, there's going to be a lot of people still in that Major League Baseball trying to make the transition, trying to come over, ain't really researched, and here I am. I'm giving it all to you. I'm gonna have it all laid out on a plate for you. You know what I'm saying? So if we go to the quarterback to get the position for the Jets, they lost Ryan Fitzpatrick. Don't know if that's good or bad. They brought in Josh McCown from the Browns. Now I know you say that from the Browns. McCown ain't a bad quarterback, y'all. I watched him play for a couple years. He's not a bad quarterback, but this is not the right situation for him. They lost Brandon Marshall. They lost two key offensive linemen, not just offensive linemen, big time offensive linemen. So that's going to hurt him. So this is not a good situation for him. They also got that Hackenberg out of Penn State, and that Bryce Petty has a big arm, but he's so inaccurate. He's really inaccurate, or he'd have been starting. You know what I mean? So that's the quarterback situation. So I think that tells you all you need to know. Josh McCown, Hackenberg, and Bryce Petty. Let's move on from that. All right, like I said, they lost Brandon Marshall. He went up to the Giants. One thing about Brandon Marshall, he's doing a TV show. He's trying to transition into being a sportscaster. So where did he go? He left the New York Jets and went to the New York Giants. Why is that? He stayed in New York, y'all. He stayed in New York, so he can still do his show, still do that, and it's a good pickup for the Giants. The Giants going to be stacked this year, and they're one of my top teams. At the end of the season, us, me, and the whole Cashline going to give their 5 top teams for that year. You know what I'm saying? And things like that. And them Giants are on top of up towards the top of my list. Now, running back, they got Matt Forte, older running back. A good running back. Played him in a couple spots last year. You got to pick your spots with him. He will get hurt. Behind him, you got Bilal Powell, who's a good running back also. But you got to be careful with that. He's a service now. If you get him on a week where Forte is hurt, and they start in Powell, and this, you can get him at a cheap price point, he's a good back to play. But other than that, as far as things like that's pretty much his ceiling, so to say. Now, wide receiver, you got your Eric Decker who gets a bump. You got Devin Smith out of Ohio State University who gets a bump. You got Inuwu who I like a lot and played a lot last year, and he helped me get to the cash line a couple times last year. And I'm gonna go ahead and give it to you right now. My butt squeaker off of this team for this season is the wide receiver Inuwu. He was balling with Marshall there, and with Marshall gone, Decker's gonna get a bump. But I'm going all in Inuwu, y'all. When I can ever catch him at the right time to get a one off. That's where I'm going because he's a freak of nature. He's built like somewhat of a little bit smaller Terrell Owens type of player, and he's done it for me before. Now on that defensive side of the ball, that's their strength, y'all. They got that Sheldon Richardson, that Wilkerson, that Harris at linebacker. They got at the cornerbacks, they got Buster Screen, who's going to take more of a leadership role now that Darrell Revis is gone. They brought in that Morris Claiborne. I believe he came from Dallas, cornerback. So that's going to be Claiborne and Screen on the edges. So their defense is going to be good. Now that Buster Screen, he came from Cleveland. And, you know what I mean? His first couple years in Cleveland, I remember he was terrible. And I remember like, man, let's get this guy off of here. But he started to grow and he got good. Then he started starting and he was playing his thing. And I'm like, okay, I like Buster Screen. And what did we do? What did Cleveland do? What we always do. We got rid of him. You couldn't believe it. We do it all the time. So let's just move on from that. But we do it all the time. Now at the tight end position, you got that Safari Jenkins. I believe he came from Tampa Bay. He's a serviceable tight end. But I'm telling you, the Patriots changed the game at that tight end position, y'all. If you when they started running that double tight end with Hernandez and Gronk. You know what I mean? And they just been replacing that. You see what happened with Hernandez, so we don't need to talk about that. But they just keep putting tight ends there. They keep putting tight ends there. And that other teams are copying that. Success gets copied. Believe it. You know what I mean? So the other teams are putting that double tight end package, and that's one of my favorite positions to play. I'll play a tight end, and then in my utility, so to say, I'll play another tight end. I run that double tight end, even on fantasy. I run that double tight end because those are the safe, somewhat cash plays. You know what I mean? They're quarterbacks' safety valves, I feel. You know what I mean? So, like I say, their free agent signings was Josh McCown, Morris Claiborne. They lost Daryl Reeves, Marshall, and them two linemen, y'all. Can't forget about that Claddy, that tight end, that tackle, and Mangold, pretty much a guard center type player. Nick Mangold, and he's a monster, and they lost him too. Now in the division, you got the Patriots, who was 14-2 last year. Dolphins was 10-6. Bills 7-9. Jets 5-11. Now you got to remember, these teams play twice. They play twice every year, and even the Patriots, when these divisional teams play, the games always seem a little closer, y'all. They always do. You know, whenever you play someone twice a year for however many years, you know, you get to know that team, their tendencies, and you play closer. Now, my big baller, my shot caller, my slate changer for the New York Jets is their defense. I don't think you can pretty much depend on anything on the offensive side of the ball, but you catch this defense at home. That's one of the staples of the cash line. We play defenses at home. Now, every now and then you're going to catch a team that's just so terrible, even though they're at home, you can play any defense against them. But for the base, we want to play defenses at home. They play harder at home. They feed off their crowd, more interceptions, harder hits. It feeds into it, y'all. Please believe it. Now, my prediction for the New York Jets is for a bad season, and it's not nobody's fault. They're just a bad team, and that's why they're ranked number 32. I told you my butt squeaker was Inuwu. Now, my maggot off of this team is going to be Josh McCown, and it's not even his fault. He got a bad offensive line, old running backs, top receivers are gone. You know what I mean? It's going to be a problem up there in New York, and like I say, that's why they're ranked number 32. Okay, y'all. Now, with this season going to kick off on September 9th. So get ready. They got the at Bills, at Raiders, Dolphins, Jags, Browns. So, you know what I mean? They got a tough Raiders game there. And then after the Browns, they got in week 6, they got the Patriots, then the Dolphins, then the Falcons. One thing about the Falcons, y'all, I think they're going to take a step back this year. I could be totally wrong, but that's just how I feel. Now, then in week 9, they got Buffalo. Now, here's a little stretch for them. When they got week 10, Tampa, week 11, bye. Week 12, Panthers, Chiefs, then Broncos. That's a problem. But they'll probably be out the playoff race by then. And they end the season in New England with the Patriots. So I want to thank y'all for tuning in, man. You know what I'm saying? Once again, shout out to Ryan. You know what I mean? He's sending me W's. And it's a good thing to see. And I appreciate you representing that cash line, man. I really do. Like I say, we're growing. Members is growing. Look at the numbers. You know what I'm saying? Numbers don't lie. But I appreciate y'all tuning in, and go get a little bit of this baseball money. Tomorrow I'll be doing another NFL team and things. I got some other things I'm getting ready to incorporate into the show, and everything's going good. So let's go get that money, y'all. Let's go get that money. Cash line, baby.